brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Cody's brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cody's brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die.
It Is What It Is podcast is on multiple platforms: Anchor, Google Podcast, Radio Public, Stitcher, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Spotify, and on iTunes. People, listen to me. Listen to me. You don't want to hear your grandmother making a scarf. You know, well, what color you want? I don't want your scarves, Grandma. Enough with the fucking scarf. You don't want to hear, you want to mute her, or you want to deafen her out. You listen to this with podcast. Put your fucking AirPods on, the ones that fall out and you lose them in the toilet. Put them on and listen to this with podcast. Okay, fellas, if you're not listening to it, right here, live, every Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, on the It Is What It Is podcast, we have our man, KARNAGE Dukaja. I asked him if I got it right, but that's how you say it. Is Dukaja, the main editor and content creator for KARNAGE Clan. Guys, we have a great show for you today. Jack the Bus asked me, hey, Turbo, get the fuck back. This is my man. This is my clan. I'm going to ask him a couple of questions. So today, here is episode 85 of the It Is What It Is podcast.
Get up.
So, Jack the Bus, we're skipping it again because we have Joey Diaz in there. So we're gonna start it fast. 2 weeks in a row. I always forget one thing. But you know what? I really, that one sneaks up on you, Jack. I
like how we're prepared.
I haven't snuck up on. But you know what, Jack? Here's the thing. You helped me avert one problem. You helped me get away because we almost had another Streamlabs.
That would have been a train wreck.
It would have been a train wreck.
Yeah.
Dukaja would have saw me sweat. It would have been a problem. You would have saw the pit stains. Not good. Not good at all. Not good.
Yeah, guys.
But if anybody doesn't know that intro, it's a bunch of metal clacking and it's the IIWII logo.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that is, then yeah. So I'm just gonna get the chat box out so I can actually see all you sexy bastards. But once again, hello, Jack the Bus. Welcome back to another week of this podcast. How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. Doing good. I don't have G Fuel today, so we're drinking water, unfortunately.
Water. We're drinking water. That's it.
Yeah,
staying hydrated.
I am slightly dying, but it's okay.
You know what? With me and Dukaja, here's the thing. With me, you're gonna probably hear today some things about me because I don't like water. I drink a lot of soda. I have a soda addiction. So you may see in the chat some people say, "Hey, Turbo, get off your fat ass, drink some water." And Jack, you know what's so funny? I want to update you. I felt my one big toe tingle a little bit this week. So
I've tried converting him to G Fuel so many times.
You should. It's much healthier.
I tried G Fuel. It doesn't give me the carbonated finding in my throat. You know.
The carbonated is why you have
G Fuel cans. They have G Fuel soda essentially.
Nothing.
G Fuel cans.
Oh, true. You could get the cans.
You can also get like a soda
Are they more
stream.
like carbonated, like a Dr. Pepper,
Yeah.
like a Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to be. They're actually starting to sell them in stores and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walmart's. They could be in Walmart.
Ooh, and Walmart's right with the guns. You got G Fuel right with the AR-15. Boom, bada bing, right there.
are.
What you call it? Yeah. I don't know. And Jack, you're gonna see a lot of Clydes in the chat. You're probably asking yourself, "Who's Clyde?" I was playing zombies. I asked them, "Who do you want to name the zombie?" It was Clyde. I don't know.
So is that what this started as?
I don't know
like
why it's stuck. I don't know why it's stuck, but what's going on? Mr. G 8-Bit, Stop Motion, Lance, Rushmore, Jordan, Botyup, everybody joining the IIWII Podcast. Welcome back. And we have you're probably looking, you're probably like, what? Who is this man, Turbo? Please be a nice host and introduce the guy. We got our man, KARNAGE Dukaja. What's going on, brother?
Hello, man. Good morning, guys.
So-
We're all having a good one.
So when Jack the Bus joined your lovely clan, I knew we're gonna have a bunch of you lovely clan members on the podcast. And I said, and Jack, he was like, "Hey, by the way, my man KARNAGE Dukaja, he's good for the podcast on the 18th." And I was like, "Okay, here we go." And I was like, "Let me get to know him a little bit." And then right when I said that, that video came out with the G Fuel Pong, and you were in it, and I was like, "Okay, I'll easily watch this." And my man, you're just one of the regular wackadoos that live in that fucking just that KARNAGE whole thing. So it's just, you're one of the literally, if you want to say KARNAGE member, you're just the same old piece of a cutout of that. That's it. That's you, my man.
Agree.
So are you wearing white jeans?
Oh, these are.
Yeah,
so
I was about to say.
Here's the thing. These
I was
are
like, dang.
These are my shorts, right? And these are like the Nike Combat.
Oh,
like
very
those
nice.
Works
They
out.
are
Yeah,
very-
gotcha. Cool.
For my sciatic nerve, it helps, Jack. It helps.
I like it.
It
I
helps.
like it. Oh, you just had
Yeah.
it up. I was like, okay, Turbo.
I am also a 19-year-old living in a 50-year-old body, and my sciatic nerve,
Right.
it can
Oh,
hurt
yeah.
sometimes.
Also because of your soda addiction.
That's it. You know what's funny? We were talking about dentist work and shit on Wednesday with my friends, and they were like, "Oh yeah," but I was like, "Oh, you guys want to talk about dentists?" I'm like, because of me drinking the whole company's stock of Coca-Cola, I have to get a root canal pretty soon. And it's like, they're like, "What?" And I was like, "You put me in a room with 2 liters of soda, gone in about 20 seconds."
Have you always been that way, or is it just kind
My
of?
grandma, when I was really, really
He
little.
blames his grandmother even though
I was
it's-
with her yesterday, and she said, "I made you to the monster you are," right? And I was like, "Yeah, you did, Grandma.
Yeah, you
did."
can change that right now though. Right now.
I know I can.
Yeah,
I
you
know I
can. You can
Destiny.
change any day you want. You can.
I know
you know what
I
you can.
can.
Do? You can go pick up some G Fuel with code KARNAGE or Dog.
Yeah, good promo. Good promo. Use my
Yeah.
diabetes as promo for KARNAGE. Great. No, but KARNAGE Dukaja, what's up? Hi, just in general,
man.
what are you all about? For the people asking, who are you? Give us a good description of your life.
I guess it's a very weighted question off the surface, but I don't know. I'm a lot of things. I'm an
Yeah, this is
editor
actually just you
for.
talking for the next hour and a half. We're just
Really, you
That's
just
it.
shut up and let me talk. Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like I could fill some dead space with some words, obviously, but I spend a lot of time doing editing. I do a lot of photography, videography stuff, and I obviously do content creation. So that's pretty much my life in general. But yeah, it's all my passion. I enjoy doing it every single day, just for you guys, and yeah. So I don't know if there's anything particular you want to.
We don't really know the kind of origins of you being brought. So how did you like get kind of involved with KARNAGE and Apollo in the first place? Did you like approach him?
Yeah. I was reading the chat. Mariana, hi. But no, yeah, so I got involved with KARNAGE obviously through Henry. Henry was one of
That's
Pro
right,
Hennis,
that's
if you
right.
guys don't know who that is. He was live streaming on YouTube at the time during what we would probably call the Fortnite boom. It was this really big time of Fortnite coming about, and the bigger streamers were hosting all these tournaments. Got involved with him, slowly made my way in with the friend group. Got to know Billiard, then I got to know Ocean, and all these guys. And so over time, Henry kind of vouched for me to join KARNAGE. And by the time I joined KARNAGE, I had already started editing videos for Henry. So that was my initial gateway in. Is
How
the
did you
fact
start
that we
talking
could
to
help.
Henry in the first place? Did you just kind of was he like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm looking for editors and stuff?
There was a specific night that I talked to Henry when he had a giant because I like back in the day before, you know how this is sometimes with bigger creators that you get to know later down the road. You really idolize them at one point in time.
Mhm.
So I was that with Henry, but he had a big Discord call with all of his community. He was letting anybody join. So I got in there and I introduced myself like as soon as I could.
Mhm.
Way back like a year and a half ago, which at the I was a really big fan of Henry and we've become really close friends since then. But yeah, that's how I kind of got into talking to him originally.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So aside from that, we've talked before at the Carnage House about how you started off like you did weddings and stuff. You've done weddings and stuff in terms of videography.
Oh, you were one of those like videographers and like photographers, like, oh, come to my Sweet 16, get on the table, get some shots. That was
you get paid for it, right?
Wow, there you go.
How'd you kind of get like started with that?
Everything
Were you just
for me,
like one day you're like, oh, that's money right there.
I need money. I like doing this. There we go. Easy spot.
It was an act, just like I guess for a lot of us, like a lot of the stuff you get into. Here's just not even like intentional. There was the initial moment that happened for me was my school was so small growing up, but we had 7 seniors in my senior class, 7 guys. So teeny tiny, and we hadn't had a yearbook in 2 years. So I decided to put it upon myself to make the yearbook. After the yearbook came out, it was a pretty big success for a small school, but there was a lot of suggestions that I should go on to do more things like senior photos, and that's where it kind of started. So I started doing senior photos for other people in the county that we lived in, and then slowly got my way into wedding films, little by little, renting gear, joining other agencies to kind of be a part of it. But yeah, making films and doing photography has always kind of been a part of my passion. So yeah, it was very early on, like through high school kind of thing I got into.
Gotcha. So when did you kind of make that transition from like what originally did you want to do like before you were like, okay, I want to do this all the time. I want to like, I don't want to do like the school stuff. This isn't for me.
Sorry, I just had something brought in here.
No problem.
Yeah, my dog's in here too. Yeah, no. So I think the transition kind of happened for me. Are you talking about from my dog? Come here, Kirby.
I've never seen your dog before.
Come here, buddy. Hey, dude.
It's an Asian dragon.
His name's Kirby.
Look at
He's very
that.
nervous.
I've never seen your dog.
It looks so scared. He's like, where?
Yeah, he's
he or
always
she is like, what?
So wait, you said the question was basically
what were you majoring in and stuff in college?
a lot, everything. Yeah, so I changed my major a lot because I was very indecisive. I initially
we all are.
Yeah, I went to school for a little while for pharmacy, went for radiography, went for computer science, went for business, went for coding after that. For like,
oh my god, you did
so. I switched 5 times, and then I told my parents I'm dropping out. And
Jesus fuck.
Yeah, what were your parents like during this? You're like, all right, Ma, like one week you're like, I'm gonna do comp sci. The next week you're like, business is for me.
It was like a semester to semester thing, and I was there for a good 2 years. And then after the 2 years was up, I mean, it just kind of, I was making money from editing already, and so it was a no-brainer that I should probably just pursue this full time. But
they were pretty understanding.
They were understanding, but as much as a caring parent wants to be of anything like this, because it's very scary, obviously, when your 20-year-old kid says I'm dropping out of college, or even making a major change for that case, because every single major change that happened, it felt like I was getting further away from completing it in a reasonable
but you showed them like what you're doing with like Fiverr and video and like wedding stuff and all that, and you were like, this is what I'm doing, this can work as like as a thing.
I think I always I didn't even, when I was on Fiverr and when I was doing wedding films, I never saw it as like my job at the time. I saw it as kind of like the hobby at the moment.
Like a money maker on the side.
Yeah, it's like a side hustle is what it kind of felt like.
Yeah.
But then over time, it kind of like, this too, as you guys do what I do, but when you get very heavily invested in something, it kind of consumes your whole day. And so you're not really working on other things. But when it gets to that point, it's no longer a hobby.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, please take me seriously. I'm just feeling these shades. I'm just feeling these shades.
I was gonna say it's a great stylistic choice.
That's it. I'm just feeling these shades.
I've never seen these on you before, Turbo.
And I want to start showing them off. I want to start.
Turbo has a lot of glasses.
I have a great collection. I have a great right next to my record player I got for Christmas with all the Queen albums. If you want to send me Queen albums, please send me Queen albums. I love Queen.
What did you think about that movie? What did you think about the Queen movie?
You want to know something? I'm such a Queen fan, right? That I'm listening to these people on YouTube that feel like they're speaking to Freddie Mercury, like these psychic mediums, okay? I'm watching these people that they're saying they're speaking to Freddie Mercury with a 50% chance that it's real and 50% chance that I know it's probably bullshit. But then, you know what's so funny? In the video, he said that Freddie Mercury didn't like the movie.
Really?
That psychic medium!
I don't know. I think he would have liked it.
I think he would have liked it. I thought they did a good job.
Too much of the drug influence he didn't like. He said he wasn't a drug addict.
But Turbo, you
what?
know.
What?
You know that psychic didn't talk to Freddie Mercury.
Every time in my head, I'm trying to say to myself, Turbo, don't be an asshole and think this is real. Don't be one of those fucking people.
I've always seen it as like like kind of disrespectful because it's like they're acting like
Yeah, I
they're
know.
talking like through this person that died and passed away.
But you know what
Yeah.
though? Long Island Medium.
Long Island
Yeah,
Medium
yeah.
isn't real Turbo.
Scratch your fucking asshole, Jack. How about that one? How about that one?
Listen,
I like the
man,
movie. I thought it was good. I watched it on
Oh,
my
I
phone.
love the movie
Oh,
too,
I
yeah.
watch it breakfast, lunch,
Yeah.
dinner. Put it in the car for me to go. Oh my god. Oh my god. I love the
Thought it
movie.
was
But
good.
no.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get us sidetracked. You know, I want to be serious
Yeah.
with these glasses. You know.
Obviously.
But Jack, you left off with what, like just in general, like how it got into like a main thing for him, and how would you say?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I remember. So I remember what you said before. So you were like, you know, as you start doing your side hobby and it starts taking up more and more of your time as it goes on, you start to have to ask yourself more questions. You know, like,
Yeah.
okay, how seriously do I like this? How seriously do I really want to continue going on with this? And like Jack asked you, like, was there any time? Now I'm gonna ask, was there any time where you kind of like you know you get the hot sweat, you kind of have a little panic attack, like, oh my god, like I'm picking this type of
Yeah.
occupation. I'm
Every
going
other
down. I'm
weekend.
going down there because Jack knows both of us have the moments where we get the moments where we look at our desk and we're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck are we gonna do?
Forget
what are we
this,
fucking
dude,
doing
yeah.
here?
Yeah, no,
a-
that's I mean, you know, as a YouTuber too, and I know that anybody that kind of does this, you have those moments where you're just kind of in self-doubt of, is this the right path? And I think that at the end of the day, like whatever path you choose is correct because it's, you know, it's just going to go along. But yeah, there's plenty of times where I've like not had enough work or just kind of not been satisfied with how something has gone, and I'll just feel kind of down about it. But I think at the end of the day that I have to recognize this is my passion, and if I'm going
Yeah.
to be passionate about it, I got to bring myself out of it. And I've had a lot of really big YouTubers tell me that the most important thing to remember is that like these lows are really crucial to making sure your highs are great. So you got to be able to really value when you're not at your best point. So when you are, you can kind of be appreciative of it. So that's how I try to kind of look at it, if it makes any sense.
What kind of
Just kinda,
long-term stuff do you want to look for? Like, I know you don't want to just like edit as
Yeah.
like, for clients for the rest of your life. Like, you want to get into content creation and stuff like
Yeah.
that. What do you think about like editing for like, let's say like Pixar, Warner Brothers, stuff like
Yeah.
that? Does that have any interest, or would you rather go like fully? Would you prefer like the chance to go like fully into content
Like,
creation?
I'm not to cut you off, Jack. Like, oh, you duck
No,
it.
you're
But when I watch when you watch a Marvel movie, do you get to yourself like, how? Like, I think what I do is fucking crazy. How do they do that? Like, do you ever think like, okay, what I do now took me this long to learn? One day, do I want to get to like that level? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I've been blessed enough to be able to work with bigger companies like that already who have
Really?
made, and the bigger companies who have, you know, obviously a lot of things you do and you work on, you try to keep a little bit more private due to NDA stuff and stuff like that for all those reasons. But I've been very fortunate to get exposed to that area. And I definitely would say that that's not my long-term goal. My long-term goal is to not be an editor for anybody but myself at the end of all of this.
Or get
It'd
to
be
the point where even you have an editor for you.
Right. And that, I guess we all are really scared of that idea at this level because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's your thing.
We were
But I
just
know
talking
at
about
some
that
point-
last week. Yeah. 'cause
Yeah,
that-
we
yeah.
did talk about it because like you don't want that disconnect from your
Yeah.
own content. You don't
So
want
that's
it
what
to
I'm
get to that
about, yeah.
point. Because I was watching, I don't remember which streamer. It was like a really big streamer, and he was on stream talking, and he like looks to another monitor. He's like, "Oh, I just posted a video on YouTube." He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's actually kind of sick." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"How do you like
It's
have
no
that much of a
longer your
disconnect?"
creation. That's why we got
Exactly.
into it.
Yeah,
You know, this
and
whole
you want things done a certain way that like it
Mhm.
would feel weird to have that disconnect.
You
So-
have those moments to disconnect with them, and you had those moments when
Yeah.
you're like up till like whatever o'clock in the morning. You're like, I wish I can just fucking send this shit
Yeah.
away. I
That's
don't
how-
want
I
to do
mean,
this.
That's how a lot of editors feel themselves because now we are my camera dies sometimes, by the way, so it'll fix
Oh, that
itself.
looks
But-
sick, by the way. That
baby.
looked like you were
Yeah,
taking a
it's like-
Tabella's date. That was crazy. Look at that. Whoa.
No, yeah. A lot of times editors kind of get the worst end of the stick with some edits because a lot of times it is like that for YouTubers where they are kind of sick of it, want to throw it out the way. And so we kind of get it at 9 p.m. and needs to be out at 8 a.m. And so editors work through the night so that people can have content during the day is how I've always explained
like
it.
Batman.
Wow.
And-
Look at that.
Of all the jobs I've worked in a lot of different places at my ripe age of 21, but of everywhere I have worked, I will say that this is a very unpredictable job because you will never know what anything looks like. And all of this is
Anything in this industry is anything.
Yeah, anything is.
50. It's
Very
you know and you see it and the way you see it is the people who come and go. That's the only way people from the outside can see what you just said is right.
Yeah.
How somebody can come yesterday, they can be making content, they got their plans, they're talking all this shit, then all of a sudden, where are they? Guess what? It's not the content that took them away. It's not the one specific thing in a game that took them away. No, you know what it is? It's their mental that took them away. It's not them wanting to make those videos for long hours anymore. It's not them wanting to sit down and just spend 2 hours on brainstorming what to make for the videos and the channels or what to do for an edit. They're not ready in that aspect. And that's the biggest thing I see from people who, especially when you are just an editor, and I wanted to bring this up, when you're just an editor for some YouTubers, sometimes the editors, I had experience with editors where they kind of have like a little nasty tone towards you because they really want to be the YouTuber. You know what I mean? So there's some editors out there that want to be the YouTuber and just says, okay, I'm basically sweating my ass off and you get the riches from it. You get the limelight from that. So have you ever experienced like snotty editors like that? Like editors that is like, I gotta make this guy's fucking 5-hour bit, whatever.
I sympathize a lot with it too because I understand the feeling of when you edit a video for a content creator and you have your commission costs and that's that. So you get paid the video amount and it was a harder project or whatever and video comes out, it does exactly what your whole job is to make it do. It gets 20 million views. It gets I've had some videos get over 30 million views before on YouTube for people I've edited. And the amount of revenue they make from that is ultimately what the editor is going to think about because they made a lot more.
But it doesn't give you that fulfilling feeling of like, this represents me.
Right. And the edit itself is so much of you sometimes that it's hard to kind of separate the two. I've gotten pretty good at separating the two and not getting so strung up on someone else's success for my edits because I want all my clients to be successful. That's obviously the point. But I think it is a point where I need to be very stable in my future goals. I want to be at the point where I can feel satisfaction for my own edits one day. And I know I will.
You're like, I got to do this now so that I can be at this point later.
This just pays all of my bills and I'm passionate about it. And so it's something that pays my bills that I like, but I'm hoping to get to something I really love.
So what is that? When you close your eyes and you see yourself 15 years from now, what is like where's your top basically? Where's your peak of the mountain?
I wanted to be able to have the platform that I have just continue to expand and not make really one specific genre of content. I would love to have the kind of content of I guess it could kind of fall under the category of an IRL kind of thing with like Casey Neistat.
You want a channel where they come for you. They don't come. They don't come for one specific
like a Markiplier,
thing.
like a Jack,
exactly.
Like a Jacksepticeye. Yeah,
and you know what? That is something that every YouTuber wants to hit. That's the target that every YouTuber wants to hit.
When you put a video out, they're watching it no matter what.
You know what the limbo is too? Is a lot of frustration with that particular concept comes from when you find a niche on YouTube. In particular, a lot of my niche has come from G Fuel videos. I'm known for making my G Fuel reviews. And so when I post a G Fuel video, you know what I mean by this because you have your niche. When that video will get 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 views for me. But when I post anything else, it's not in that niche. That's difficult. And so trying to balance those two is the most important thing I feel like we got to do as we continue to grow. Because once you get locked in a niche, you can be in that niche for 5 years and no one will watch anything else. But the Markipliers and the Jacksepticeyes of the world did it in a different way. Obviously, they were brought up in a different space of YouTube. Yeah. But it just continues to being diverse and having that personality-driven state is really important to me. I'm sure it is to you guys too, and all of the content creators. But
you're hitting the nail right on the head. I posted a vlog, first vlog of 2020 this week. It was the first vlog I did since 2017. I didn't know how it was gonna go. You know, those videos, but I learned though, but those videos that you want to make that you're not sure of and you want to do for that reason to try to grow that just coming from me and you're coming from my personality. When you had like that was the vlog I posted this past week, Jack. I haven't actually had a video before I click publish give me the chills before, like a nervous chill, like a nervous like you know like that nervous.
You don't vlog usually.
Don't vlog, And what Dukaja just said, that one video where it's not on your niche, it's not on your basically like it's not your slice of pie, you know, it's not your thing. So when you're doing that, and you know what I know, Jack, you're experiencing this more than ever, doing something in a different category where you're not used to. It gives you like that the nerves again. It gives you it gives you that feeling where like, you're just starting YouTube again, you know, and that's a great feeling. But then. So Dukaja, do you feel like what you're doing now in Carnage could hopefully expand you? Because Carnage is much more of a clan that puts out more personality in people.
That was one of my questions too. Was like, what has Carnage changed about your perspective on not just the industry, but like your self-reflection too?
Yeah, I'll say initially with Carnage, Landon and Henry are two of the best friends I've ever met in my life. They're two blood brothers for me at this point. And so I'm in with Carnage to the bitter end of trying to make this thing as big as it can be. So I take Carnage very, very personally because I believe in Apollo's vision for a lot of his stuff. He's a really smart guy. But I think Carnage can help everyone as we continue to grow. You know, you look at Carnage's members at the current moment, impressions for Carnage members always go up. Think about, you know, every member that joins always sees some kind of great benefit for their own platform.
Willie's
not
getting
only
like
that,
more of a spotlight, and it makes me so mad because he deserves.
That's the main fucking person that like I haven't had the privilege to meet everybody in the Carnage Clan, but
we had Willie on.
Once Jack introduced me to Willie, and I did a quick one video I fucking watched from him, and I was like, why ain't this kid more? Like,
Willie, that's the thing too. We find those diamonds in the rough, and I think it's just like there's something very different about our org, and like I can't even put my finger on what that is, but when we're in that whole space together, we all can acknowledge that there's something really different here. And I'm excited to see what the future holds. There's a lot of big opportunities and talks we're having with different people and brands that it could be big for the group. So that's really what's encouraging. I think everybody that joins Carnage comes in and gets a lot of good social boosting, but they don't really expect how much of the family aspect they do receive because it's out of this world. I posted this morning, we all say good morning to each other every day. Like when you see a FaZe clan or you know, a TSM posting good morning to each other every day, they're just very disconnected from one another. Even though they're big and they're a great respected org, there's a little bit of disconnect at that point. And I think that Apollo is going to make it a big point to keep the connection there, no matter how big we get.
When we were at the house, when we were like all standing in that room with like the Carnage banner, we were I think Landon said something. He was like, this is like 2015 FaZe Clan. Like this is like these vlogs that we used to see from these guys, and it reminds me a lot of it, like the entire vibe from it.
Bringing back that nostalgia is really what we want to do for the viewers.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of those clans and stuff now, you don't see that kind of content anymore, where they're all together, all in one. I mean, you may see it like once in a blue moon, but you don't see that anymore. That's not regular.
Exactly. It's very obtuse.
So I want to get back to like editing and stuff, because I think it's interesting, because I've never talked to someone that's just done it like as a job before. What are like not just the disconnect, but what are some of the challenges you faced before? And have you ever had like a client that's proved to be more difficult, or had like one big thing that you've had to change? I'm sure you have. You don't have to like talk about them.
We want names. We want names. We want to bring the next drama alert episode out next week.
Obviously, as an editor, you run into a lot of different walks of life.
Ninja. What?
Ninja. Yeah. So this one time I edited for Ninja. Man, that guy sucks. No, I actually have done work for him before. He's great. And there's plenty. No, I have.
Wow.
Not through myself, but I was in partnership with a company called Render GG.
Very nice.
Oh yeah.
Render GG is a big editing organization that kind of licenses out work to different editors and stuff. And so I had the opportunity to work on some stuff for him at one point, which is awesome. But a lot of times when you work with personal individuals, I find that a lot of times with bigger YouTubers too, especially if an ego is bigger, they value the people under them working on it just a little less. And that's not like a knock on their character. It's just they just don't see the relationship as important. It's just a business thing. And so it's not like there's not a lot of consideration for how a person feels or how an editor is a lot of times. And I think that editors are very underappreciated in the state. I think editors are very underpaid too. That's why I become very firm with all sorts of pricings and everything with that. So I think editors definitely get the worst end of the stick sometimes with just how respect goes.
I think
Because-
a career, like a relationship between like an editor and like a content
Mhm.
creator. I think sometimes you have to just contract stuff and that's that. But I think
Yeah.
a connection between the two and knowing what you both want out of that is really important.
Yeah, there's nothing like editing for Apollo or Henry because we can just jump in a Discord call and talk about what
Mhm.
he wants, and then we can kind of just spitball friend stuff that's completely different.
Right.
And so that's the dynamic that makes editing feel fun. It's
Mhm.
the dynamic that kind of sucks is when your only point of contact with them is an email and you can't really
Mhm.
feel that person and understand
Right.
what they want. And then it makes the edit even more difficult because you don't understand the story they're trying to tell.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because you can't really get it across. And that's a hard thing to do. And some people will be disappointed with how it comes out because they had it in a different way in their mind.
That's
you know?
hard too, though. Sometimes having to bite your tongue. Yeah, like I'm probably pretty sure you had to bite your tongue sometimes.
Yeah, right.
You wanted to send that message. You wanted to click that send button, but
Hey,
you were
what,
like,
Ninja? What'd you say?
this is a commission. This is some moolah,
Yeah.
baby. I can't really, because
Yeah.
I have no patience. I wouldn't.
Right.
I can see that type of like entrepreneur, you're below me type of tone they give. I can
Yeah.
see right through that bullshit. I see right through it.
Yeah.
You got like when they try to tell you, oh well, I need it this. Oh well, do it this way. Oh well, I need it that way. Oh
Yeah.
well, listen to me.
I'll tell you what, I
need,
see it
You
like.
need it that
That
way.
all
Okay. Okay.
I know all that sucks, and I get very upset with it when it does happen.
Yeah.
But the way I have given myself peace on the topic is I view it in the light of I'm very blessed in the regard that I get to be around some really
Yeah.
obnoxious YouTubers.
You're in a part where you wouldn't be getting that disrespect if you weren't working for such high people. So
Right,
if you were
yeah.
working for some other person on like a lower level, they would be talking to you like a friend. They would like
Yeah.
to get to know you, but them they're not
Exactly.
your friend, you know. So 100%. I get
I'm
you.
lucky that I get to see it because it almost being firsthand with people who kind of have a big ego or problems at the bigger stage of YouTube that are a little bit more private. It kind of gives you a firsthand handbook of what not to do when you're a big YouTuber.
We all have
And that's a big
we all
blessing
have
in my life.
egos though. We all have
Yeah.
egos. It's hard to
Yeah,
admit it, but
right.
we all do. Okay? I
Mhm.
have egos, Jack has egos, everyone has fucking
How
egos.
dare you? Know?
Everyone has an
I don't know.
image. As a
Jack's like the nicest guy I ever met.
as a no. As a creator, everyone has
Right.
an ego. Everyone
Yeah.
has an image for themselves. Everybody has an image on what they want themselves to one day be. You know, everybody has an image of down the line, I want to be that person. And you know what? They're going to do what they got to do to get there. But at the same time, you got to learn how to have morals. You got to learn how to have respect because that's what, there's plenty of times I admit where I've been in DMs where people would ask me to do this or that. And I would be like, I just got no fucking time. And I would be nasty. And then I would have to learn, you know what? I gotta stop this because there was a time, Turbo, when you were asking for this. You were asking for that DM. And for anybody in this call, it happens where there's times when you're going up that corporate ladder or you're going up that route as a creator, editor, anybody in a clan, you're going in the entertainment business. There's times when you're gonna have like those people, those colleagues you're making a edit for, and they're nasty to you. There's gonna be those times where you're gonna have to sit back and bite your tongue and be like, okay, this is a learning experience. I can't just snap out right now. Like, okay, how can I learn from this? And there's times where, you know, you're talking to someone, there's an opportunity you missed, a video you thought was gonna do great didn't do great, and guess what? All those things are messages you gotta learn, and that's all you gotta do.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that
Perspective
entirely.
on things change over time. It's actually crazy how
Yeah.
you can see like how you view, you know, YouTube and stuff from the beginning compared
Yeah.
to now and how everything.
How, yeah, it's so
Yeah.
crazy. I was playing like Slenderman videos to start, and now
I
Dude,
saw.
my first like gameplay video I ever did. I was like 13 or something. I had an iPad at the time. I recorded it by using like Bandicam on my PC, and then I
Bandicam's a
put
good
the
one.
iPad like next to me to record my like
Yeah.
reaction to stuff. And
Oh
I didn't
my
even know how to
God.
put the two together, so I like uploaded the gameplay and then I uploaded like the iPad footage. It was my
There was,
Stick
god.
around
like-
for the face reaction. Yeah.
There was
Heck
like
yeah,
there was like
dude.
full times, like there was like full channels I've had of all iPad content. It was like all iPad footage of just me
Yeah.
holding the iPad.
Dude.
There was a time where I had me sitting in a chair and the iPad was on the floor just tilted up, and it was like a tilted angle of just a TV, and I was like,
Dude,
and the-
cinematography.
and I was talking to the iPad. I was like this. I was like, you like that, guys? You like that? Oh, headshot, bitch! Check, I was just.
I thought you were like a crackhead.
Oh,
dude.
I was bending down. That's probably how my fucked up back. That my camera angle was down below. It was a bad thing, terrible thing.
When did you guys like get started? Like, what was like it from the beginning for you? Because the first I did like home video way back, and then I got more into like gaming stuff on my main channel. And my first setup was like me at a desk. My mic was across the room because I hooked it up to like my PlayStation for some reason. I was turned looking at like a TV to like record, so you could hear me like yelling across the room when I wanted to say something. What was like the first like kind of like setup like experience where you're like, oh man, this is my workstation.
I was talking to a soup can.
My first ever video I ever posted was just a setup transformation because I made a decision. I was doing it for photography, so I wanted to document my setup change. It used to be set up on the right side of this room here, where I had like one desk, a small laptop. I would edit all my photos on. I saved up
so you're still in the same room.
Yeah, no, this is the same room. It's just the perspective has changed.
Wow.
There.
Okay.
Right. And
You've
so
been
all
there
this
for a while then.
Yeah, 21 years. I've been here with I'm moving out this year with Val. We're looking for a place at the moment to move into. But I've really appreciated the fact that I could stay at home for a long time and do this here.
It's a solid room because you got like the nice carpet. You have like just the good acoustics. That's a solid room.
I know, and I'm going to have to try to find something that's kind of makes me feel as comfortable as this. But I remember that first video posting that up now too. And like you do that too because you thought at the time you were so proud of, oh man, this is going to hit it on the, and then you watch it now and you're like, oh my God, can I take it down? But you know, I don't take it down because it's part of the story.
We've talked about that a lot before. Just like putting stuff up and leaving it up, or like editing that video you don't want to edit. Like someone said in the chat earlier, the worst part about making a video is editing sometimes, because you can record this awesome video and you have so much fun recording it, then you're like, oh my God, I gotta edit this for the next 3 or 4 hours. That can be the most painstaking part.
You got to get over that mindset a lot when you do it every day, all day long.
I can imagine for you.
Yeah.
Who's that guy who worked in Optic? Not Hutch. What was his name?
Yeah.
The editor guy.
I know who you're talking about.
I forgot his name. Oh, Jeff. Don't fucking kill me. But that guy. Him making those Optic, like those the visions, having to make them every month.
I never saw
Holy
them.
shit.
What were they?
The visions, like optics, like it was I think it was called Vision, Optic Vision, sponsored by Brisk Mate. Remember they did that shit? It was like those videos he made every time they went to a tournament. Who the Hutch? Was his name Hutch?
I think his name was Hutch.
Hutch.
I'm not too familiar with.
Hutch is Old Men of Optic, isn't it? I don't know.
Optic Visions?
Who gives a fuck? But it was
Optic
was these documentary things he made every time they went to like these tournaments. But that guy, and an everyday editor, him having to like be like, all right, like let's fucking do this. Oh my Jesus.
Each one is
Christ.
like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's a documentary pretty much each one.
Jeez.
Yeah, so he had to do that for every tournament pretty much they went to. Imagine having that. But guess what? If you have the itch for it, you have the itch. Jack, that's pretty much like some guy who, grew up in the baby boomer era when they're just now working as mechanics, and you try to get them out. Go, you ever try to change a job? No, I'm a mechanic for 85 years. Like, they just love what they fucking do.
Yeah.
If you have the itch for it, you got the itch for it. And if you're an editor and just loves to edit, like, there's a man like that, MC Sports Talk, who the zombie community knows. Guess what he's doing now? He's doing team playback with his brother. They're making videos, they're editing and shit like that. They just love to edit. And you know what? Matt, we always knew, is a great editor. So if you just have that niche for having... There's some people who love being like this, okay? They love going to the computer. They love seeing the file, the original OG vanilla file, and they love going back hours later, clicking on the edited one and seeing the change that they made. Seeing the change from the original to the end product. Some people have, like, they get an orgasm probably sometimes. They see the
I've
end
seen
product.
some of Duck's timelines. He has like 30
You got carpal tunnel syndrome, Duck. You got carpal tunnel syndrome.
Yeah, I have like grip tape on my mouth so I don't ever like lose grip of like while I'm editing.
That's intense, dude. Yeah,
it's that intense. It's that intense.
I used that mouse at the Carnage house. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of liked the grip.
Yeah, the grip tape's pretty nice.
Just get Jack, get electrical tape. You can make it yourself. There you go. You got yourself your own Dukaja mouse. Start selling that. There you go. Who else is making mouse with tape on it? That's your own brand.
That's your own.
Sell your own mouse.
Sell that, baby.
You can send me my check after, but there you go.
Yo, low key though, that's kind of a good idea. Like, it's like perfectly cut for the mouse and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
it
all
definitely
I'm
takes.
saying.
It doesn't take much at all. You just got to cut it right on the edges. But this one needs to be replaced. I got some fingerprints all over it. But yeah, it does take a lot of dedication to your craft and discipline for sure. And that's one thing that I've been very thankful to learn is discipline this last year for sure.
And
A lot,
learning to be able to learn. That's like the number one thing I hear from a lot of content creators is like, let yourself learn from other people. Like,
Yeah.
don't get in the mindset of like, I just need to create. Like, be able to just sit back and be like, okay, wait a second, what do I need to do here? Mr. Beast even said like the number one tip he can give to content creators is like, spend more time thinking about what you're gonna do and less time just doing things. Because
Yeah, I agree. We're in such a culture that like we're such a hustle culture right now on YouTube in particular, where if you don't upload every day, you're viewed as not wanting it bad enough. But I think that if you're posting once a month, but it's amazing, it's way better.
I think I don't believe in that whole thing every day. That's it, done. You have to do every day. They want quality. People.
Anyone
want
that says they know
quality.
the algorithm of YouTube is
They're fucking lying.
I'll say that I think that mindset does satisfy some of the algorithm, but it does not give yourself a long-lasting brand. It doesn't give yourself personality.
You know what that algorithm 100% confirms and 100% promises? A burnout. That's what it promises. That doesn't that promise you success. That promises you burnout. How many times do we see YouTubers say, "All right, that's it, every day, blah 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 blah," and then they have to put out a nice paragraph of their fucking voice memo on the iPad, have to screenshot it, put out a tweet. I'm having a nice little break. I can't be. You're gonna see that type of shit happen. You gotta. And Jack, how many times do we say, even in past shit we looked at on YouTube, but it's like people who post every single day and the videos they post that they push out, they didn't even think about. They know they're just pushing it out. It's just like a crank. They're just cranking them out. Boom, 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 boom. They don't have no heart behind them. There's no soul behind them. And that's one thing I really thought, because in the beginning of like World War II, I was like, that's it, every day. There we go. Come on, let's go.
How to turn on power. How to finish Easter egg. How to
that's what's preached to us. Yeah, that's what's told. That's gonna make you successful.
And if you want to talk about the Call of Duty community, that's a great point you could bring up when you talk about people who make literally campaign, multiplayer, boom, 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 boom. But then
that's really big Call of Duty. Call of Duty's everyday postage.
And then you want to say to yourself, I don't think I have a fan base. Well, you're pretty much making videos for people who are just gonna go see how to get the achievement and leave. You're not having somebody there for you. And that's one thing I really like that you said before, and you really hit the nail on the head by the personality aspect on the channels is one thing that's missing now on YouTube, is the personality. Anybody can make a video or a channel on a category, but they want to see you, the man behind the camera, the man behind everything. And this is actually something really, really cool too. Dukaja, what do you say to some of the editors that want to be an editor but just don't have the equipment, don't have the money, don't have the sources? What do you say to those people? Because
I'll show you what I edited on first. I have it right here.
Because Jack, I'm gonna let him know. I'm gonna let him know what I use. I'm gonna let him know my
my first laptop I ever made.
Let's see how he deals with it.
This is the first thing I ever did anything on. I put a bunch of G Fuel stickers on, but for like this first year, everything was done on this. Yep. For YouTubers who had over 10 million.
You did Fiverr stuff on that too, right?
Yeah, YouTubers with over 10 million subscribers would come to me and I would edit their stuff on this. It doesn't matter. And I think the thing is, you have to know what you're about to take on. So if you're taking on an extensive After Effects motion tracking thing, you obviously can't do that. Yeah. You can do vlogs, you can do gameplay edits, you can do montages. So you can always do something, which I feel like is always the cheesy answer, but that is the truth. You can always do something. There's always something to do.
I tell him, Turbo.
Okay, here we go. So I still, now you can see what you call, if you probably, you can go and see.
This gives me an absolute, this raises my blood pressure.
You can literally go and see the vlog I just made. You can look at the videos I made in the past. Every single video I have made on my YouTube channel, I have used with an editing software called VideoPad.
Yeah, I think I heard you guys talking about that one day. I was tuning in. You guys were talking about VideoPad.
Now, let me tell you. The main reason why one day, Jack even knows, one day I will change.
The thing is that he's such a good video editor and he puts so much work into it that like if he used anything like above that, he could just do so much more.
I know I
definitely recommend Adobe products. They're very helpful.
I know. And listen, I take it all in and I'm not ignoring it. I take it in and
I edited on iMovie for the first 6 months, so I understand that.
But you know why I think this helped me always using VideoPad? is because I learned how not to always I'm losing the word here. Not always to rely on the edit. I feel like always using VideoPad and always having these simple cutout tools I can only use only made what I do behind the camera even better. What I do in the actual video, but I always tell, and that's why I always brought the question to you. People tell me I don't have a camera. I don't have this. I don't have that. You got a phone? You got a phone with a camera? What do you have with a camera now? There we go. Boom. You can literally find apps you can edit a photo of the thing on your phone. Like a camera roll, set it to your camera roll, the app, boom, edit it up. I remember always being so, I still don't have, look around the fucking room, I still don't have everything I really want from me. I really don't. I have a broken mic stand and everything over here is breaking apart. Jack knows. I have a piece of paper still on my PC. I gotta get it out. I am not good with technology, okay? So I tell people...
He's literally an 80-year-old.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
Swear to God.
And I tell people all the time, if you don't have the financial advantage, it doesn't matter, because you want to know what? When you talk at the end of the day, what they want for YouTube, they want to see entertainment, and you want to know what you have to do. You can have a $2 fucking camera in front of you and be, hey, what's going on? And have a great fucking energy, great video, and then you can have a $5,000 Canon in your face. We're gonna go to the movie theater. Then we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Then what do you do?
Yeah, it's all personality driven, and I agree with that entirely. I think it's
don't get discouraged if you don't have the financial advance in this industry, because even if you're an editor, look who you held up. You had a laptop that pretty much probably crashed on you 15,000 times in a fucking video.
Yeah. Right, exactly, and that was before I was smart enough to hit Control S every single time I was working on a project. So I'd lose projects and redo them over and over and over again because I was just done with it. But I think that over time, no matter what, you can always upgrade when you have the opportunity. My question is always, is there good justification for the upgrade? I don't upgrade this microphone, this Blue Yeti, because there's no justification for it for me right now. I don't have the money might be there, but there's no real reason. There's no like big increase I see.
That's my life. That's my life.
You're like, you seem like one of those kind of guys. It's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Right.
Dude, I am the complete opposite. I'm like,
you want to deck it out. But I'm saying I'm talking to you guys on a DSLR right now. So like there have been some things I want to treat myself.
Yeah.
I see it as that. Like you want to treat yourself.
Yeah.
And it's just a personal thing.
And that's
I don't think it determines anything.
And you know what? And Jack, you have that great opportunity to do that because you have like the backing to do that stuff. You have like this financial support.
Dude,
financial
people
you're
like
a millionaire, dude. Like
but bro,
people are like, I literally worked at a movie theater for a whole summer just so I could get a PC because all I had was a laptop.
But I'm just saying.
I'm literally getting this job just for a PC, and I'm leaving. Like I'm not staying here.
And you see just exactly that. You went from a job to go get a PC, and now you have a little channel bringing you financial success. So now you have that fucking thing that you can actually have to get your the mixer and stuff. I just told you because I don't have that sound effect thing you got. So for you to bring in your financial success to this podcast, you know, everything in this fucking industry, it all relies on how much you really want something. If you don't have the financial backing, it doesn't matter. If you fucking want it, there's no excuse. There really isn't. I'm gonna call this the Gary V podcast now, pretty much. This is it.
Yeah, you
really?
remind me of him. Yeah,
because I'm sick and tired of seeing people fucking say if you have the financial advance, that's it, they got it. No, they have the financial advance, but as long everybody has the same hustle. We all start at zero. That's it. We all start at zero.
Premiere is like the best of the best. Like, do you have any plans on changing to anything else above that?
What's like the hardest, like, and most advanced, craziest editing software?
If you usually when you name it, I've probably used it at least once or twice before. I've not used the particular one you use, Turbo, but I have used it from.
What do you think of Final Cut? Because a lot of people that love like Mac products and stuff like that love Final Cut.
And that's initially kind of what I was drawn to is the Final Cut stuff, because whenever I would talk to people about what kind of spec should I upgrade to, they said, "Oh, Max is great for creative." So I started to learn Final Cut. I started to learn.
Always told
Vegas. But very early on, I did make a transition because I started on Windows Movie Maker, which is, you know, the like software that comes with every Windows computer. And so I did a little bit on that, and then I saved up to do a college plan, which was like $20 a month for Adobe. And everything within Adobe, I pretty much know how to use pretty efficiently when it comes to After Effects, Photoshop, all that stuff. I find that Photoshop, and the thing I'll say about Adobe is they're the most well optimized for a lot of Windows products. And a lot of times they have the most frequent updates too. That's why people always ask if it's good to get like bootleg versions. I think it's bad because they always update so frequently that a lot of times, especially if you're an editor, you'll get sent a project that's like half done by another editor and they're on a different version of Premiere and you have to convert it. But I think that Adobe is obviously the most optimized. It's the most fluid. It feels. Vegas crashes a lot. There's a lot of different problems.
Oh, I've heard stories of Vegas.
I've used Vegas for 6 months. The only reason why I learned Vegas and all those other things is because I knew I had to be versatile with going into being an editor. So I needed to know how to use these different ones. And so, I mean, just depends on this case to case. But if someone were to send me a Vegas file, I can still edit it on Vegas. I need to.
I used Vegas for like 3 years.
Too long. I'm sorry.
At the very end of it, there was like one video where it crashed and I opened it and it crashed and I opened it and like I would like clip one thing and it would crash. I was like, that's it. I'm done. I got Premiere.
Premiere is so good.
I jumped ship.
It's so good that when you use it and you try to go back to something else, you're so spoiled now with the features that you have on Premiere that you don't have anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so it's like one of those things that if you use it, you're going to want to stick with it. So be sure when you learn it, you're going to commit to
Premiere
it.
was really hard to get used to at first though, because it's very different from Vegas. It's much more optimized in terms of like workflow and stuff, but it's very intimidating. Yeah, it's super intimidating.
That's why I'm
all
so
the panels and stuff. Yeah,
I'm scared because I want to make great content as I go further, but then I feel like if I advance another editing software at this stage, it's gonna make my content shit. And it's
I don't see. I think it's all across the board. All editing softwares are the same with cut features, drag features, all the features where you could put a timeline together. I think Adobe just has more you can do if you want to, but the initial timeline across all platforms are the same when it comes to making a scissor cut and then starting a clip in and out. So like all that will stay consistent.
Yeah,
I think it's great just to have in your arsenal for whenever you are ready. But it is also a financial commitment too, because you have to pay $30 a month, or you have to pay
it's a monthly thing, Adobe?
Yeah, you can do monthly purchases, or you can do a one-time $200, $300 purchase at once. So I choose to do I buy it yearly. So every year I just pay my payment.
All right, wow.
Do you know what your best work is? Like, if someone's like, "What's your best work?" Do you know what it would be?
That I've done for myself or other people.
In general, like if you could refer to like a video or something, you could just show someone.
There's something that has always stuck with me the most through this whole thing, and I say it very frequently. If you've ever watched anything that I've ever done, I talk about it a lot. But I took a trip back in April of this last year that took about 8 to 9 months to plan, roughly, for this community member we had named Kelton. Kelton was a very talented Fortnite player at the time when we met him. So we decided that we were going to save money. Me and like 3 or 4 other people were going to save money. We're going to drive 12 hours to Indiana with one person who's from California and deliver this computer. So we made the video and I put it out. It was one of my most proud things ever done because of the fact that it was so much planning. There was a lot of things that could have gone wrong, and we had to get him at just the right time, right before his birthday. And like to see his reaction when we did that for him was sick. There is nothing in this world I've ever felt like that, because it wasn't that I was just giving him something. It was that I was giving him something with a group of people that were in this small community that I was building. Right. So we had done it together. We had made the effort to be there. So that's my most prized creation. I think there's a lot of videos on YouTube that I've edited and they've blown up, and I'm really happy they have. But a lot of times too with YouTubers, what I'll say about, and this is something not a lot of people know about editors, a lot of times you get involved with people that are big YouTubers, and they will make you sign a form to say that you will never say you edit for them because they tell their community they edit for themselves. So
really?
And I have edited for a lot of people who just go around and say that they did it. And that's the kicker in the comment section when they say, this is the best video you've done in a while. And I'm like, of course it is.
I can't imagine feeling good about putting out a video and being like, yep, this is mine. Like, this is all me. I feel like if I ever had someone edit for me, like I would have to be like, dude, don't even like talk to me about it. Like, tell him like this is good. Like I can't even imagine. Like that's crazy to me. I never would have thought people would do that kind of thing.
Yeah, you will be mind blown how people will do things in the thing, but the video you're watching is definitely the one that I am most proud of. And that's one too, it was hard to balance, because that in terms of views to how one of my G Fuel versus Respawn videos got almost 60,000 views, that is a lot different. And I like that kind of thing had the biggest community response I've ever had in my life. So what I did there is what I'm trying to replicate a lot this year. So I'm posting a lot more infrequently, but what I did there, the feeling people got from that is what I want to replicate. And I encourage all YouTubers to kind of do that, because once you do that and have that feeling with your audience that it's a family and no longer this, guys, welcome back to the video. We have a new item, new camo today in Call of Duty. Nobody cares, man. Like, care obviously about the person.
You're speaking
but, like,
my
at the end of
language
the day,
now. You're speaking my language.
Let's be honest. Let's be very honest.
Because you can get like 60,000 views on a video and get like 5 comments, or you can get like 200 views on a video and get like 100 comments, and you can
the fact that video has like nearly 2,000 views and like nearly 300 likes on that in comparison to some of these videos that get 50,000 views and maybe like 100 likes. Like, that's the ratio. Just shows that there's more real people watching the content.
Right.
And I think that's encouraging. So I've decided with myself that that's what I want to do. I'm going to edit until I can get to a point where that sustains me. And so I love editing, and it's very fortunate that I have that as my backup here.
Jack, do you have any other questions?
I had one more question just to cap us off. Whenever
if you want to cap us off, then let me just slip this one in.
Sure.
Where do you find the balance, the healthy balance between editing for you, growing your channel, growing your brand, and your love and passion to grow Carnage? Because now now the biggest reason why I feel like some people wouldn't like to join a clan is because they want to grow themselves. They're like, being in a clan's great, but I want to focus on myself. Where do you find the balance in yourself to be like, okay, I really want to succeed on my own, but I have a great passion to grow on a teammate level? Where do you find that balance?
It's difficult because it's no longer just business involved at this point, because it is friendships. And so that weighs in a lot more, because it means a lot to me that my friends are successful as well. And so I want to make sure I do everything I can to be appropriate with it. I would say that when I answer that question, I am not fully with an answer yet, because I'm still learning how to do it. There are days where you feel as if that you haven't posted in a long time, or you haven't paid attention to one area or another, and then you get down on yourself about it. But I think I'm encouraged by the fact that I'm doing something every day.
It's a good problem.
Yeah, it's a good problem to be too busy. That's what my dad always said. If you're too busy, business is booming. That's how I hear it. And, I always try to do something for me every day, whether it be a stream or some kind of community connection. That's what I encourage everybody to, that's balancing multiple things. Make sure you do one thing for yourself a day, but also pay attention to the things that pay the bills, because that's important, especially when there's friendships tied to it too, and a lot of great opportunity. So balance is a thing I've always wanted to find, and hopefully this year is a big step for balance for me. I think for all of us.
It's the hardest thing to find.
It's hard, whether it be in a relationship or friendships or making videos for 2 different content creators. It's whatever it is, balance is hard.
There's been when people literally tell you, because there's been moments in, my life, even before YouTube, where, I was on a baseball team or whatever, and then people tell you, oh, well, if you want to do something, you're going to have to sacrifice something for it. If you want to do one thing, you got to sacrifice another thing. How many times I was playing baseball and stuff, and my friends in school would have a birthday party. Oh, what do you want to do? You want to play the game? You want to work, blah, 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 or you want to go to a birthday party? Same thing with, YouTube, what you call it, my friend Vinny, he's doing all these fun challenge videos. One of the challenge videos I couldn't go to because I had to focus on what I was doing for my channel. And
leveraging.
It sucks because you want to go out and have fun in the real life, but then at the same time you're like, oh fuck, I'm kind of stuck in this sense. And I think it's kind of different for you too, because when you're also working for Carnage and growing, you're growing too. When Carnage grows, you grow. Carnage grows, definitely. Jack grows. So that's why Carnage, like I said, and you guys said, is different in that aspect, because it is more involved in getting the people who are shadows in the community, the showcase, and so yeah, hopefully you do find that balance, because bro, like I just saw that one video, I get it now. I get the type of things you want to do now more in 2020,
right.
And if you want, and that's a great thing you want to go towards.
Yeah, and I don't want to be successful without all my friends being successful too. So that means, like, with you guys being successful this year and wanting to be a part of your success and be a part of Carnage's success, it's really important to me that we all eat if we're all on the same page.
That's it. Everybody eats.
Everybody eats, man.
I just want to say I got 3 or 4 private messages after that video went live that was just like, Jack, you suck at punk. Like, you are awful.
You skinny jean wearing prick.
I got like several private messages. I'm like, why are you all attacking me right now?
Like, they attacked everybody. I was getting messages after that too, saying stuff like, like, how could you guys lose right there at the end with you? And I was like, dude, I don't know. It just
Their
happened.
G Fuel
But
cups
we
are
all
hard
did
to
so
make it
good.
in.
We all did so good
That's how you
watching
know
that
Jack
back.
doesn't go to parties, huh, Jack? Jack, come on.
Yeah,
Jack,
I
come on.
don't party. Also,
I mean,
G Fuel cups are way harder to make it in than solo cups
Yeah.
because it's like it's hard plastic. It's gonna bounce out. It's just,
people
it's
were
not-
DMing me saying like, we didn't abide by the rules because you're only supposed to go past a certain area of the table. I'm like, dude,
I was
shut up.
wait. I was actually gonna bust Jack's balls about that a little bit. I was gonna be like,
We
wait a
totally
minute, the
broke the rules.
fucking elbow, fucking.
Who cares?
Because
It's
I
G
get
Fuel.
yelled in that. Hey, throw me fucking elbow. Like,
yeah.
shut the fuck
I
up.
didn't get it.
No, I
get
know.
it.
Fuck. But what you call? I
So-
mean, me and Jack were just talking about it. We were like, when's that fucking video going up? Come on, we gotta see this fucking beer pong. Come on.
Yeah,
Cheese beer
I've been
pong.
waiting for it, but I'm glad it's.
Yeah,
finally
we
out.
strategically have saved all those videos, and like I know that's a bunch of guys who are down there too. Is we filmed a lot of content in September, and we filmed a lot of content now in December, and all of these are going to be the arsenal for the year ahead. And so we
Yeah.
always planned for this video to come out on this day
Mhm.
because we saw this. Another plug, the Carnage Shaker Cup came out a couple days ago. We knew that was going to come out on that day, so we had it planned all along. The video's been ready forever. It's just been
Yeah.
a matter of pulling the trigger. And so yeah.
Well, I have one more kind of question to cap off the whole thing. I had been doing like I was looking into like interviews with like different editors for like bigger corporations and stuff. And Paul Hirsch, I don't know if you ever heard of him. He
Yeah.
won Oscars for Star Wars and Mission Impossible, stuff like that. He said that at one time he actually wanted to be a director, like that was like his dream. But he always fell back into editing because he was so introverted, and that was just his personality. Do you think editing can be an overly isolating field of work? Would you?
Yeah.
Do you think it can kind of trap you? And do you think
Mhm.
you can find a way to you mix it with content creation and stuff
Yeah.
like that? But do you think it can be a damaging field of work at some points?
Yeah, and maybe you guys can both attest to this. I don't know personally, Turbo, how much you've streamed or done a lot of like
Oh, a lot of
live
s-
content
yeah,
stuff.
live, a lot
I
of
find that
streams,
my
yeah.
moments are the worst after stuff like that when I've worked all day on editing and isolation, and then I go to do whatever I want to do, and it doesn't turn out the way I want it to. And so the worst moment you can ever have as a content creator, and I've felt this many times, is when these lights behind me go off. Everyone's off Discord, everything's silent, and you're by yourself in your room. And that's all you have to think about is that the success is not there and it's quiet and you want to be somewhere you're not. That's the most painful part of being an introverted editor. And I've recognized that it's really important as someone who's an editor to force themselves to get out.
That's the question
make
I
it-
asked
yeah.
you. The balance between what you're doing
Yeah.
if you're editing for someone else and then you want to do it for your own growth and then you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to have time for everything else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a very human thing. Though, I mean, if you think about it, Apollo even said this to me, and it really made me think about it. In other countries, isolation is punishment for crimes. They put, that's what we do that even in America. But I'm saying like it's severe isolation from society. That's just the worst of the worst to somebody. To be alone is the worst thing a human being can do. Even if
Yeah.
you are introverted, you need people.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've really come to terms with. But I'm really happy with my job. And I think I'm finding better balance, as we all kind of are. I mean, we're all so young, too, when we're talking about this. We're all like early 20s. So I'm sure by the time we're much older,
That's-
we'll have a
that-
lot
that-
better grasp.
That's why I keep
Yeah.
saying in my head, patience.
Patience is
Patience. I
Big
see
thing.
somebody else getting something I want. Patience.
It'll come.
You see somebody else doing something you want to do. Patience. And I bite. You know how many times I bite my tongue a day? Do you know how many times? You can probably see the stitches on my tongue. It has come where I was walking home from a video. I can't give it away. One of Vinny's challenge videos, and we were just literally walking home. And I looked at Vinny, and I was like, Vin, do you remember when you and me, because this channel, my channel used to be a clan. We used to be a clan, actually, Artificial Gaming. I used to have a clan, and we ended up just splitting apart, and I just ended up with the channel. And and then I looked at Vin, I was like, Vin, do you remember looking at each other when no one would watch our shit, and we would be like, just imagine somebody coming to our channel just for us. And then after my vlog, and my vlog did good, and people actually liked my vlog, and I was shocked with that, I was like, I think this is starting to happen a little bit. I think I'm starting to have that happen. And then what happened with then exactly what you said. You get a different part of that what you said, but I get that excitement of like a little success with the channel, and then you see somebody else doing something at a higher level, and then you get discouraged. But then I was just happy. But then you see somebody else doing something better, and then you get discouraged. So why do
Dude, you can destroy your mood compared.
And
You
that's
gotta be tunnel vision
that's
for
my
sure.
biggest problem. And you need tunnel vision, and that was, and I continue, and I don't deny it. I continue working on that because you know what? It was a lot worse in the past when I would just not, I wouldn't edit a video if I saw somebody like me, because I used to get so mad. I'm like, why the fuck are people watching that dude's video when it's just gameplay and his stupid fucking voice, and I'm out here in a fucking wig doing shit? Why the fuck? I used to get really pissed, but then I'm like, you know what? It just isn't my turn yet. It isn't my go around.
That's my be honest.
Everything happens for a reason. I went for Red Reserve once, that whole Red Reserve RC. I went for that. Guess what? It didn't happen. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. Because you want to know why? Where's Red Reserve now?
What did happen to Red?
I don't know.
They pretty much, the recruitment challenge, they didn't recruit any
content. A couple of them went to like Obey and stuff.
Here's the thing what happened with the recruitment challenge. They didn't recruit no content creators, which I went for. They didn't recruit content creators because the ownership got fired or whatever. And then they changed ownerships and shit like that. And I just learned at that point, I took that message from whoever, the higher ups, and I said that's a message saying that maybe I'm not just fit for a team. I'm just a solo guy, and it's just for me. And that's why
I encourage you to keep that same mindset, because that's the mindset that's going to make you successful, and you know that. So it's
and I'm just trying to say it to other people too, like who have that problem, because I have that problem too with you when you shut the lights, and that's it. You go to bed, and that's when the voices start to come out. And you're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. You can't shut it down. Like you probably have 1,000 tabs open all the time, and you can't just shut them in your head.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know exactly what. I don't know. It's very difficult to put into, but it is a very active. Your brain is always working in this job, and you know that too.
Whenever
never
you even take breaks, it's hard. Like if you go out, and, like you go out for a night or something, you're still
checking
like,
my analytics,
oh my God,
checking like my PayPal, see if I got paid for this, or like it's always something.
And you know what? That was like a big reason why I had to like really decide to if I want to delete like Twitter off my phone or not, because it gets bad. It gets bad.
Yeah, I've had those moments.
You know how many times Tim Hansen DMs me, you want to record, and I'm like, I'm at my grandma's. And then I'm like, fuck.
And then you're mad at your grandma.
Because then you go, because then
like, why am I here, grandma?
Because then here's how my mind works. I could be in that video. That's a good video to make. It's a good video to post. I need a video to post. I have no video now. Then I have to make it. My head, and it's not good because Jack knows I got bad anxiety, and then I get the hot sweats. Then I get a panic attack. It doesn't work. It's not good. It's not good.
It's not a good thing for you. So I encourage you guys to keep that same like energy for it, because you want it. If you want it bad enough, you'll overcome those anxieties too, I find. So
man. But bro, listen, I gotta say though, Carnage, I feel like is in good hands with you editing, my brother. You gotta I think Carnage got to keep what they're doing now. I feel like a lot of clans are doing now in Call of Duty. They're trying to like monopolize very fast. They're trying to get corporate very fast, and they're not trying to establish a fan base right away. And Carnage
we're trying to get back to the roots of everything.
Carnage
we're
is
trying to keep it family.
Come back to the players, basically. Like I forgot what game company had that motto, like power to the players. Like they're trying to bring that power back. Is that GameStop?
That's GameStop, actually.
Power to the players. Fucking, but like that's what I'm trying. Like Carnage, I have a joke with Jack and everybody. I'm like, I just have a joke. I was like, every time Apollo tweets, take a shot. That's a great fucking drinking game, my brother. Every time Apollo tweets, because I tell you, there's moments where I wake up and I think at one point I had his alerts on for his tweets, and that was a fucking mistake. That was like an alarm clock. Jesus.
Just a lot of Lamals.
But that's exactly why I brought it up, because you want to know why Apollo's always out there with the inspirational tweets. He's always out there, very transparent.
We had him on the podcast.
We had him on the podcast,
I watched that one.
And right when we got the first 30 minutes, I knew how he was. He was like a very there we go, like we already get business going. Let's go. Like we're ready to go, and I like that from a businessman, from like a person who's running an organization. Question to ask you two actually. When you first met Apollo, was it like different how he would be? How was he?
I did not expect him to be so short. I like on the back door, and he was standing there. He's like, "Hey, I'm like, hey."
Jack,
you're just really tall though. You're like
I was gonna say that's for everyone for you, Jack. I always told Jack I'm gonna fucking see him like, you fucking piece of shit.
He said he's gonna try and fight me.
I'm gonna beat the fuck out.
Grab his legs, hold on.
I'm just gonna want to fight him just because he's taller than me. That's it. We gotta. Jack, we gotta have a fight either way for the podcast. We gotta have
true.
That'd be great. I would buy.
You don't want a fist fight Come on.
Yeah.
Episode 99 before the episode 100. Get the amp up for the 100.
I'm
Yeah.
down, dude.
Jack, I will imagine me taking a flight just to fist fight you.
You taking a flight just to get laid out, dude? It's your preference. He really thinks he can.
Are you fucking serious?
Oh,
You can't use a
Are
katana.
you serious?
Can't use a katana.
You
though.
serious?
Fist fighting.
TSA won't stop me.
I think the NSA will stop that. I don't think
they
they'll allow
will
that as a carry on.
The fuck?
Yeah.
You'll probably
Yeah,
take
you
out.
never know,
You'll probably,
maybe.
you'll probably take out a goddamn. Oh my God, we're in Texas. You know what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to do the 1, 2, 3, bang!
It is the old west down here. We still ride
It is.
horses everywhere. You
Yep.
know
That's
how
it.
it goes.
Oil is
That's it.
important. Yeah.
That is it. But so
Heck yeah.
Dukaja, is there anything you can say or like maybe tease of what Carnage you got coming in the future? What videos you got coming up? Anything you can
I'll say
tease?
there's that Landon and I are both really smart businessmen, and we've been working on a lot of really smart business things together. And there's a lot of cool content that we're excited to release
There you
that
go.
no one is expecting.
No one.
So.
No
Dun, dun,
one.
dun.
Dun,
No
dun,
one.
dun. Yeah.
I mean,
So.
you mean blood, nudity.
Yeah.
mean
Right. Yeah.
action,
We're there's a there's a
energy.
whole time. Right. It's a whole
That's
thing.
That is it. Well, Jack
Absolutely.
the Bus. Jack the Bus. Is there any other thing on your questionnaire, Jack?
No, that was pretty much
Jack.
what I wanted to
Yes,
cover.
you
Yeah,
know,
thank you guys for having me on.
Good
and you
time.
know what's funny? When I got the DM from you, Jack, and you were like, I'm gonna get some questions. I'm gonna do this. I'm like, you know what? All right, let's get Jack on board and ask some questions.
Turbo got a little hot and heavy. He's like,
I was like, ooh. I was like, I like this. All right.
Yeah.
Because literally,
Absolutely.
you ready? Because look, these are usually what my pages look like. They're usually just like a lot of letters and shit. This is
You know what I
this
felt
is-
like too is
this
'cause
is today's
we were
page.
back at the at the Carnage house down in Texas filming a series that hasn't come out yet where we had to interview everybody and he interviewed me for my portion of the interviews that's going to
dude,
come
it
out
was
later
like
this year.
3 a.m. too.
Yeah. It felt like that
so
again. I was like,
hard.
dude, I feel like I was in front of that camera again.
He woke you up at 3 a.m. for an interview?
No, we
No,
were
still
working through the
up.
night. We were working through the night. I
Yeah.
stayed up that whole night for majority of the
Dude, if
time.
there's one thing I tell you about Duck, this man does not sleep. Like
I have
he
a
just
condition,
doesn't.
that causes me to not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been
it's a
out
whole
like the
thing, but-
BU. I like my
Unfortunate.
sleep, yo. I like
Yeah.
it. Damn. Fuck,
Yeah, I'm a
sorry.
freak of nature, but yeah,
Damn.
it's fun.
You need some melatonin, huh?
Dude, I've tried that before. It does not help.
Yeah, no, man.
No? I was
whatsoever.
actually
Maybe some wine.
My
Wine
grandma
does
had
it
it
for
yesterday.
me.
I was gonna
Why?
I'm a big wine guy.
Listen, Jack. Jack, come on. Your mother ain't a wine person. Like, have a nice glass of wine.
No.
No?
You don't like wine?
My mom
It's
also
very-
wakes up at 4 every morning though.
Yeah,
So
you told me
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Because my mom used to be a wine person. Like, yeah, I can have my wine. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
not really.
All right.
Yeah.
Not really.
Dukaja, now I know what to get him when I see him for a nice bottle
Heck
of
yeah,
fucking
man.
wine.
Yes.
Nice bottle.
Great
of
Pop
shit.
the
wine.
fucking bottle when he edits. All right. People will be live every Saturday right here on the channel, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the IIWII Podcast. You can find us on Spotify and on iTunes. Dukaja's channel is in the link in the description. People, just check out the Carnage YouTube channel for a lot more content throughout the whole 2020. Dukaja may have his stamp on those videos. People. Hope you enjoy this podcast. Jack the Bus, my man.
Spotify links in the description.
There you go.
Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff.
There you go. And Jack the Bus, I heard you probably have like a CSGO something or something coming out or something.
I am working on new stuff. Yeah. Willie and I have been trying to plan some stuff. Also, we need to talk about something Turbo with
Yes,
Willie.
yeah.
And-
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? Yeah. You know
Nice.
what? Yeah.
Secrets.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
trying to plan this thing, and the roadblock is the name of it. That's literally the
Yeah.
entire roadblock. So
Huh.
Well, have you
Yep.
talked to him prior? Since the
No.
one I was in? Yeah, no, me
I have
either.
not.
Me either.
I have not.
And I feel bad. I'm like, I just fucking, I don't know. I don't know.
We'll talk
I don't
about
know. Yeah, I guess so.
Nice.
All right, well, people, we'll see you later, you sexy bastards. Peace, love. Kiss your grandma, kiss your mama, and do what you gotta do. All right, see ya. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for watching the IIWII Podcast. Guys, do not forget, every single Saturday right here on the channel, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is when you'll find the all-new, brand-new IIWII Podcast live. Guys, do not forget, in the description is the link to our first sponsor, Touchstone Essentials, for all your organic health needs. Guys, please go check them out. Use our code for 25% off all your purchases on that channel. You got arthritis, your back's killing you, your headaches. Guess what? Instead of taking vitamins that's going to give you side effects, Touchstone Essentials gives you all the organic needs for all you guys to love and enjoy. So guys, go into the description, 25% off. Use our link, and I cannot wait, guys, for more guests to come on the show. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for watching the IIWII Podcast. Guys, do not forget, every single Saturday right here on the channel, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is when you'll find the all-new, brand-new IIWII Podcast live. Guys, do not forget, in the description is the link to our first sponsor, Touchstone Essentials, for all your